tam przechodzić.
Idziemy.
Idziemy. Idziemy.
First off, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to everyone here. So I made a special presentation just for you guys. Someone was asking earlier, like, oh, you changed the name of the city you're in? No, this is just for my Krakowians. This is just for you guys. So my presentation for the awesome people of Krakow, and I hope you guys enjoy. So before the internet, this is how people dressed. And before the internet, I wanted to be either a fireman, a cartoonist, or a hockey player. In fact, I dressed up as 2 out of the 3. But then the internet came along, computers came along, my family got our first little Mac, I don't even know what it was called, but it was like the size of a box. And I became a very geeky boy. And I actually found this clip art piece who has the same haircut, similar glasses, a little different smile. I've never held a pitchfork, but I thought it was an appropriate depiction of me in my 8, 9, 10 years of age stage. So around 10, 11 years old, I really started to get serious with computers. And I remember when all the kids in my classes would be going on Yahoo for Kids, learning about, geography and biology, dinosaurs and stuff like that. I'd be going on rock and roll websites. And one common thread that a lot of these websites had was they were built using, at the time, Macromedia Flash, which is now Adobe Flash, as you probably know. And so I instantly downloaded the 30-day trial, downloaded the key code cracker so I could have it forever.
And it's on tape right now.
Right?
It's on tape right now.
Oh, no. Didn't do that.
Which I was paid for.
But no, I didn't do that. I just said it to be funny. But so started experimenting with Flash, and like everyone who started with Flash at a young age, you do stick figures, beating each other up, and blood and stuff like that. But then you would slowly progress to building menus, then building websites, then building rich applications with video and whatnot. And this, for me, really allowed for a combination of all my passions. I was really into art, I was really into animation, I was really into music, and I was really into the emerging internet. So I built Pokemon websites, I built websites for bands that I played in, things that I liked, and before I knew it, the local bands that I performed in, we needed a website. So I was like I said earlier, the geeky guy in the band, and so I opted to build our website. And then soon after, bands in the scene started to hear about, oh, talk to that Brendan guy who builds your website. And I've never shared this with an audience, but one of the first websites that I built, I actually built in exchange for Subway sandwiches. One of the guys in the band worked at Subway, and he would hook me up with those little tickets for free sandwiches. And his band actually ended up getting really, really big. And so it was an early investment. It was better than working for free. Kind of embarrassing as things progressed to even say that. But so started working with local bands. I was in a punk rock band, designed our website and other bands. And then there was one point where my favorite band at the time, Slick Shoes, had a competition open to their fans to create a promotional Flash presentation, splash page that effectively promoted their new album. And so I basically, all of my years of honing my skills and working with Flash, I'm like, I gotta do this, they're my favorite band, I gotta show them, what I'm made of. And so I made this presentation, and they ended up picking it. They sent me tickets and put my name in their album, and for me that was awesome. And so I felt like I can do a lot more than what's in front of me. I can do a better website than what they have right now. So I convinced them to let me do their website. I did their website for free. I was like 12 years old. They had no idea who I was, no idea where I lived. They had no idea how old I was. But I made a compelling argument and did a website for a band that ended up headlining the band's Warped Tour, sold hundreds of thousands of records, were featured in movies and radio. And one great thing about that was at the bottom right-hand side of the website, it said designed by Brendan Ciecko. This was before I had a company name. This is before I knew what an LLC was, which is like a formal corporate entity for a business. And so people started to contact me from all over the world saying, hey, can you build our website? We love what you did for Slick Shoes. And that landed me my first major client, Vagrant Records. They were the largest independent record label in the world at that time. Saves the Day, the Get Up Kids, Dashboard Confessional, bands that on an indie label, we're selling millions of records, going gold, platinum, winning MTV, VMAs, really hitting critical mass. And those were all my favorite bands. So I started taking on all their digital media, their print work, merchandise, and I received the nickname Wonder Boy after they found out how old I was, which I can tell stories about later. So this was really my introduction to the music industry, and here's a quote that really defines the industry as it is. The music industry is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free, and good men die like dogs. There's also a negative side. So the music industry is really competitive, not very ethical. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of people screwing you over, a lot of people saying one thing and not following through. So it was really a risky niche market to be going into. I could have been building websites for other industries, but I decided, hey, I want to stick to music. It's something I'm passionate about. These are bands that I love, that I feel like I can really exemplify their image to the broader public, and I thought that was a successful formula. So I stuck with the music industry and formally founded 10 Minute Media in about 2003. And so really the basis was providing my clients with whatever they wanted. So if a client was coming to me to design a website, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll design a website. If they're coming to me to design like a promotional video, I don't do video work. This was when it was just a one-man operation. I'd find a way to provide. Didn't do merchandise design. I'd find a way to provide it. So I was really just doing anything that the client wanted me to. So the company was really, really exciting to finally come up with a name. I can tell you about the name after during Q&A. I'll tell you, my biggest secrets of what 10 Minute Media means. And so what this meant for me during high school was a lot of ideas, a lot of design, and a lot of code. This was before I was building a development team to work with, and I was just kind of crunching as a single-man operation. This is a picture of me that was actually in PC Magazine that I'll get to later. Still kind of going with the whole dork thing with the Chuck Taylors and the Argyle and the shaggy hair. So I just want to show that. So I kept working all throughout high school on building websites for bands. Went from indie labels to bigger indie labels to bigger artists, and then finally landed my first major label client, which was Capitol Records. And for me, they're the most iconic record label. They have the Capitol Records Tower, they have the Beatles, and so for me, I thought I hit gold, and I was really excited. And after I started working in the music industry, more and more in the major music industry, other labels and companies started to take notice. So EMI, Warner Brothers, Clear Channel, Virgin, RCA, Def Jam, Sony Music, those were all, and still are, clients that I work with on a day-to-day basis, providing digital media services, development services, design, creative. And I've also done work for Fortune 500s. I feel it's important to show that you can mold to other industries and provide a service to different industries and verticals. And so I've also worked with Fortune 500s like Samsung and Clear Channel and Mass Mutual, which I'm really proud to achieve as the founder of the company, and also celebrities. So a lot of the clients that I work with they have international notoriety, and that's really fun because you get a whole other audience looking at your work because they know who these people are. Like Katy Perry yesterday broke world history, tying Michael Jackson with 5 hit singles, number 1 singles on a single album. And so can you imagine the amount of traffic going to the website that my company built is really exciting. And here are some lists of actual artists that we've worked with: Mick Jagger, Katy Perry, Lenny Kravitz, Slash, Snoop Dogg, whole bunch of artists, lots of different genres. I can tell you stories, like with Mick Jagger. It was a really exciting project for me because this was the point where I was deciding between going back to college or dropping out of college. And so right when I was supposed to hand in kind of the paper to formally go on a hiatus or to withdraw, you actually have to fill out papers to drop out of college, which I think is bullshit. But anyways, so right around that time, I got a call from someone that I had been working with at Capitol who said, Brendan, I never told you this, but I used to tour manage for the Rolling Stones, and Mick Jagger's in the market for a new website. He has a new album coming out, and I showed him your work, and he loves it. So let's set up a phone call and talk about some ideas. And so I got really excited about this. A week goes by, and a phone call never happens. So I'm kind of pissed, I'm kind of bummed about the situation. Another week goes by, and I get a call to, Brendan, Mick Jagger's actually in New York, wants to meet you. The meeting's tomorrow. Make yourself available. And so I was wicked stoked. And he said, we don't have a time for the meeting, but I'll let you know in the morning if it's on or if it's off, and just drive your ass to New York City. And so for me, that's a 3-hour drive. I'm like, okay, definitely no questions about it. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's still an exciting experience. So I get to New York, and they still haven't announced what time it's at. And so I'm like, okay, I'm in New York. I have a couple hours to kill. I'm going to take a couple meetings. So I stopped by Capitol Records, and then I stopped by Warner. And on my way from getting up out of the subway for one of my meetings, I get a call that's like, the meeting's at 6, be there on time. It's at this place, this place. I realize I have no money in my pocket, so it's not like I can take a cab there, which I should have. So I'm just like running through the streets, dodging baby carriages. Finally get to the place, and it's at the Palace Hotel in New York, which is where they shoot Gossip Girl. I don't know if that's big here, but it's like an iconic New York City hotel. And I'm sweaty, I throw on my suit coat, and I get there, and probably like a pre-pubescent voice, I'm like, hi, I'm Brendan, I'm here for Mick Jagger. And they're like, yeah, sure. And so they look at the little thing, and surely enough, I'm on there, and I get sent up, and they're waiting around. I finally, everybody's invited to Sir Mick Jagger's suite. And so we head in, and just like an incredible energy in the room over like, he's this legend, and he likes what I do. I'm from the middle of nowhere. I'm like 18 years old at the time, and he's getting really excited about colors and wants the pages to change colors, things that are actually really, really simple, but he's getting really excited about. And so it's really, like that for me, it was one of the coolest experiences about starting my own company and being able to really stay diligent, work hard, work my way up, and have something to show for it. So this was like one of those, I don't really consider myself someone to be starstruck, but I was kind of starstruck going in the elevator down, like, holy shit, he next to Mick Jagger, his manager, his bodyguard, his makeup artist, is this person, is that person, just being really excited about what it is to be an entrepreneur. Now I'm going to focus on some challenges, because everything's not as cool as running around New York for meetings and meeting celebrities. There's a lot of hard work and challenges, especially starting a business when you're so young. In high school, you have to balance high school, school, extracurriculars, hockey practice, this and that, having friends, and then squeezing in having a company onto that same equation. So that was a early experience in learning not to procrastinate and to manage my time. And that led me to, okay, if I'm 14, 15 years old and I need to hire developers, it's not like I'm going to go to my office because I don't have a driver's license, there's no subway, there's no train. I'm not going to invite like, oh, you're a developer, come into my bedroom. This is just not going to work. So I realized with the way that digital relationships were happening, where I was communicating with my clients via email and phone, it's as easy as that. And this was before project management systems, which makes working super efficient. I need to look for developers. So started looking for outsourced companies and freelance developers. And so that brings a whole kind of new challenge and dilemma. How do you find reliable developers that will start working? You had some developers that start working and then they disappear. You'd have some developers that work, you get the code and be like, this is the worst code I've ever seen in my entire life. So that was a challenge. Not getting paid. I've been screwed over so many times. There was a time 7 years ago where we didn't use contracts, and that was me. I wasn't using contracts, and so I get screwed over by some clients, and actually still from time to time get screwed over. I mean, that's just the nature of being in business. There are some people that follow through, some that don't, and that's just one of the challenges. And then red flags. Finding out, learning from experience, what these red flags were, when to be weary of a client. And now I know, like right off the bat, is this person going to be difficult to work with? Is this person going to pay on time? Is this person going to change their mind 300 times? And those things, I guess you just learn with time, because you get so excited and you think, well, it's money in my pocket, it's another project in my portfolio, and so you take the project anyways, and then after you kick yourself. So those are just some red flags, things to watch out for. I'm sure if you're a freelancer, if you're an entrepreneur in this room, you've had similar experiences, and that's just part of having your own company. So now this is the time in my presentation where earlier I asked if anyone wanted me to talk about anything in particular, and Ella, you wrote some things, and someone named Pjort, I don't know if you're here. Awesome, thank you for coming. Posted some questions, and if anyone wants to right now pull out their iPhone, their handy dandy smartphone, whatever it may be, ask me a question, I'll answer that question. But I'll just address some that were asked earlier. Were there any moments when you wanted to give up? Absolutely. There have been times where a project would be so time-consuming, exhausting, and drilling that I just wanted to throw my computer out the window and never, pick up a computer, never think about entrepreneurship again. And that, I was working on a project for HBO where I was up for 4 days in a row, and it was with an agency, and it was a complete train wreck because I'd never put so much stress and exhaustion on me. I think I bit off more than I could chew. So that was an example of a time that I wanted to give up. But, I think that's just natural with anything. As entrepreneurs, we love what we do, but it's natural to kind of be like, today I want to give up, things aren't going my way, and you keep on doing it. What type of music do you like? That's a good question, thank you. I like a variety of music. What do I like right now? Well, my favorites are Tom Waits, Beck, Bright Eyes, The Beatles. Actually like Czesław Śpiewa, who played here. Yeah, I know your guys' music. I know. I'm going to the Folk Live. I'm going to the Folk Live Festival. I know what's going on. But yeah, I listen to a lot of different bands, a lot of different genres. I like Romanian gypsy music. I like opera. I like punk rock. A lot of my early high school days were listening to Rancid and NoFX and Operation Ivy and Bad Religion, like punk rock bands, so very gritty and very fast. And now I listen to slower music, or slower relative to that music. So those are just some examples of bands that I like. Actually, like what are they called? Cars on Fire, also a Polish band, great Polish band. Czesław Nemen? Nemen, I like him too. Oh my god, I didn't pronounce his name correctly. What is the alternative to iTunes? Right now I'm using Grooveshark and RDO. RDO is founded by the guys from Skype. It's a great service. I don't know if it's available in Europe right now. No, must not be. Grooveshark is awesome, except that Apple's taking their app off their store, and it keeps getting, there's a lot of back and forth with the RIAA suing everybody, so it's really difficult. You can have the best music platform, but if you don't have the relationship with the record labels, even the best user experience, the best interface can end in a horrible lawsuit. Again, Grooveshark's awesome. Actually, it does work in Poland. I've been listening to music on Grooveshark, so check out Grooveshark. Great platform. It's beautifully designed. Will they ever become the alternative to iTunes? No, they probably won't. What are your plans for the future? That's an interesting question because I don't know. I've told myself that once I'm 23 right now, and a couple years ago I told myself at 25 I want to change completely, do something completely different. Because I've been designing and building websites since the ripe age of 11. And it's still exciting, but I wonder if there's something else I'm capable of doing, a different role I can play. So I'm hoping in the next year or so to surround myself with the right team of people, the right minds, the right thinkers, and come up with an idea and kind of jump into a startup and start from scratch. So that's one idea for the future. Or I could be the 40-year-old guy that builds websites for music industry artists. Who knows? Probably not that one. Last one, someone said, tell them about their fabulous city. A friend of mine from Vienna visited 2 or 3 weeks ago and absolutely loved Krakow. and so he posted, tell them about the fabulous city. I don't need to say anything about this fabulous city because everyone knows it's a fabulous city. Yeah, I love Krakow. And coming from an Austrian, coming from someone who's Viennese, that should mean a lot that they love the city as well. So I absolutely love the fact that we live in a digital age. Like I talked about before the internet earlier, and woo-woo cartoonists and whatnot, and sending letters, handwritten letters. It's more exciting to me this digital age that we live in and how that allows me to work. Like right now I'm running a company, and then months from now I'm going to be in Boston doing the same thing. I'm going to be in New York, and then I'm going to be back here. And just the mobility of the era that we live in is a really beautiful thing. Being your own boss gives you a tremendous amount of freedom. I create my own hours, I work on projects that I want to work on, and that type of freedom really means a lot to me. I don't think there's anything better than being your own boss. Lived in Boston, New York City, Warsaw, I guess unfortunately, since you guys are Krakow. And right now we're in Krakow and love to be here. And I couldn't be living in Krakow if I was trying to think of what I could be 50 years ago. I don't know, but all I'm saying is it's absolutely an incredible thing to be able to run a company, you know, using your own rules, working whenever you want. And like right now, my mail gets opened by robots. So my mail, and this is like the coolest thing to me. So before going to Warsaw, we decided that who's going to handle all my mail? I don't want to hire a secretary. There has to be a solution out there. There's a startup in the States that would have all of your mail routed to a P.O. box in New York City, or you give a New York City address. Robots would scan your letters, and if you decided to open it, it would open it. If there's a check-in in it, it automatically scans it. Like, that's the beauty of this era that we live in.
How do you know it's accurate?
It's super accurate. I've never missed a letter. All my checks get...
Oh, you mean like an actual physical letter?
For physical mail.
Yeah,
for physical mail. I mean, it's unfortunate that we still resort to physical mail. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys like postcards? I'm sorry, no. But there's still clients of mine that send checks, and these are huge, conglomerates that are still sending checks. And so to have a robot open and scan that, it's the coolest thing. Thank you for the digital age. And here are some, I guess, features that have been featured in Inc. magazine, cool to turn in under 30, meet the brains behind America's smartest new companies. I feel very undeserving of that. I don't feel like my company is that cool. I don't know if I'm that determined. I don't know if my brains are that great. But that was really exciting for me to tell my story, to bring my story to a broader audience. And Entrepreneur magazine, BMW magazine, which was actually translated into, I think, 20 languages, Polish as well. Fast Company, PC magazine. My first year of college, PC magazine did this thing called what do they call it? Small Medium Business Awards for innovative use of technology. And around that time, I built a viral analytics system that I used on a couple of projects for Capital with Lily Allen. And so they wrote about it and then contacted me and said, well, that's super innovative. We love your story. Here's an award. And so that was kind of a fun award to receive, except that I wasn't using a PC and I don't read PC magazine. Mm-hmm. But the picture earlier when holding the sign, that was from PC magazine. Awards for individual projects / received an award, a golden floppy disk by LA Weekly for the best social media presence and website. And he kindly received it on work that I produced for him, and that was kind of exciting. He actually was really appreciative when I met him that he got that award and that he had the most badass social media presence out of everyone in Los Angeles, all those celebrities. A Webby for some work we did with Katy Perry, an Addy Global Student Entrepreneurship Award, and a PC Small Medium Business Award. So I've told you a lot, maybe too much, about my business and what I do and how I get started, and maybe too many examples of my work, and I apologize if you feel that way. So outside the office, I like to travel, I like to eat, I like to sleep, I like to go to concerts, I love cities. City that I spent a lot of time in back home was one of the first industrial planned cities in the world, and rose to a point of having the most millionaires per capita, and then is now one of the poorest cities per capita. I guess very similar to Łódź in a lot of ways. It's an industrial city, so I'm involved in a lot of conversations over the revitalization, and there's this high-performance computing center that MIT, Harvard, Cisco, and EMC are building in this city that no one knows about, and there's a population of 40,000. So those are things that I'm really passionate about outside of just my formal company and what I do there. For more information about anything, about my company, about me, you can go to 10minutemedia.com. You can feel free to email me. Put one of these fancy codes there if you want to try scanning it. I don't know if it works. Maybe there's a hidden message. Maybe there's my credit card number. The winning lotto numbers. I don't know. And more than anything, I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you so much. Dziękuję serdecznie. Thank you so much.